Ah, USA.
USA! USA!
Ah, back to it, sir. Food Friday.
Food Friday.
Food Friday. We're just gonna jump straight into it, because this is gonna be, I believe, possibly our third biggest video of the week. I'm Red, and this is Arrow, a man who truly believes that Raphael is not the best turtle. Ridiculous. Going into the video, we are looking up comfort foods, U.S. versus the British. Last week we did, what was it?
I think it was basically main dishes.
Yeah, main dishes. So this will be the last of the UK series until we figure out if there's another good one. But food is obviously still what we're doing for Food Fridays. So we're doing comfort foods, U.S. versus the British. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
How many are we doing?
15.
15?
Yep.
You can start us off with the
Alright.
shitty Brit food.
You guys are trash. Come at us, please. I want you guys to come at us. Alright.
I'm starting at 15, by the way.
Yep, so am I. Alright. Number 15. So I'm doing UK. And this man's doing the good old US of A. So at number 15. So to start us off, I'm using the tasting table.
And I'm using comfortablefood.com.
So if you guys want to go check those out, that's what we're going to be using. So at 15, trifle. If I'm pronouncing these wrong, then go fuck yourself. Trifle.
Probably.
Trifle is a simple dessert that reminds everyone of childhood. Oh, that's nice. But it's just as fun and delicious when you're on the wrong side of 30. Ooh. Adults can also douse their version with booze. Maybe. Which ups the comfort factor, especially around Christmas time. Trifle makes everyone happy, whether it's encountered or if that isn't a comfort food, we don't know what is. So here we go, the last bit of it. The layered dessert begins with a few ladyfingers, like the ones you'll find at the bottom of a tiramisu, or some crumbled cake at a push. I don't know what the term a push is. I'm assuming a party.
Neither do I.
On top of that, so first layer, ladyfingers. On top of that goes Jell-O. A few generous handfuls of fresh fruit if you're feeling fancy. When that's set, third layer. A layer of a thick custard should make up the third layer. So thick custard.
I don't like custard, so...
Before the dish is capped with whipped cream and any decorative toppings you want to add, just remember to place it together at the last possible moment. You should never build a trifle too far in advance. What's the chances that you would buy that?
Probably the best sounding, tasting food that I've heard out of the Brits.
Yep. I agree with you. Number 15, my good sir.
Chili mac and cheese.
God damn!
In my book, this is one of the best comfort food recipes in the world. It combines my favorite beef chili with a touch of gooey, cheesy goodness of mac and cheese. This recipe is quick, easy, uses pantry staples, and packs a flavor punch. Bonus point in that it comes together all in one skillet, so cleanup is a breeze. You can't beat that.
Now, what liquor would you have with your mac and cheese? With that mac and cheese, what are you thinking?
Liquor?
Yeah.
Maybe some nice coconut rum.
Ooh. God damn. Number 14, peas, Pease, peas pudding. Peas pudding.
I guess a lot of custard in that too.
Nah, we'll find out. Peas pudding is an odd one, as most people in Britain don't know what it is.
See, that is the problem with the UK. They don't even know what the fuck they're putting in their food half of the time.
The yellow split pea based dish is pretty exclusive to northeast England, but it's safe to say the rest of the British Isles and the rest of the world are missing out. You're missing out, my good sir.
Apparently.
Making peas pudding is pretty easy. Would you like to know what it is? I will tell you. I will tell you. The traditional method involves washing and boiling the peas, then mashing them into a paste. Butter is then heated with a bay leaf, some onion, and some thyme in it until it begins to color. The butter is then added to the pea mash with an egg and some nutmeg. The paste is then seasoned with salt and black pepper, wrapped in muslin, and added to a pan with a gammon joint, a ham basically, a clove, studded onion, and more salt and pepper. The result is a delicious paste that can be served hot with ham or chilled in the fridge and used to add a delicious layer to subsequent ham sandwiches. If it sounds like a lot of hassle, yeah. The good stuff is available from all decent butchers in the Northeast. Okay, so this is getting shorter. Avoid the canned stuff, though. It's bland and unpleasant. You know shit. As a bonus, peas pudding especially acts as condensed pea soup if you want to water it down and heat it up with a few ham scraps. Fuck. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'll just rather take pea pudding or pea soup or split pea soup or whatever.
Okay, 14 for the U.S. is chicken cornbread pot.
Ooh, I've never had it.
With a little bit of sweetness, a little heat, and a little cheesiness, no one will resist this comforting dish. Even the picky eaters in the family. You can serve with a dollop of sour cream, Greek yogurt, or guacamole to take the edge off the spicy heat. But you can always reduce the amount of jalapenos.
God damn, dude. Fuck. 13. Beans on toast. We already talked about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Comfort food should be...
I mean, you don't really have to. It's literally just beans
It's
on
just
toast.
beans on toast, but the way they describe it... they added more. It's worth noting you need specific beans and specific bread to get the true experience. American baked beans can be very sweet, as can most American breads that aren't on sale for $8 a loaf.
So they use American food for that.
Mm-hmm. If you want a true beans on toast experience, stateside, which I'm assuming is us, look for Heinz baked beans and shop for bread that isn't heavily sweetened. Once you've slapped the beans on the toast, yeah, add a generous drizzle of HP brown sauce, which is not A1 steak sauce. Thank you very much. They fucking say that. HP brown sauce, which is not A1 steak sauce. Thank you very much. Go fuck yourself. A good dusting of white pepper. Some people add cheese, but this is about tradition, simplicity, and nostalgia. Cheese is just decadence.
So I don't really have to go into detail on this one. It's pretty simple. 13 for the U.S. is classic lasagna.
Oh,
Don't have to describe that.
no.
I don't think I have to describe the next one either.
I have to explain this one. 12. A fry-up dash bubble and squeak. I've heard of bubble and squeak. I don't know what the fuck it is. That's what it looks like, my good sir.
Alright.
Here we go. Is it short? Absolutely. Pretty much. Okay, so here we go. If you scan this list, you may notice a Sunday roast isn't present. That's because it isn't a comfort food, in case you didn't know.
So we can skip it?
Yes, it's more of a weekly family gathering centered on roast meat and potatoes. However, its leftovers have a well-earned place in British Comfort Food Hall of Fame. Do Americans do like a comfort food that's based on scraps of another food?
No idea.
All right. Picture this. Oh, it's giving us a scene. Are you ready for it? Picture the scene. It's Monday. Your family has
the worst day of the week.
The worst day of the week.
Picture the worst day of the week.
I gotta look at you with this story. All right. Picture the scene. It's Monday. Your family has finally left you in peace, and your stomach is starting to grumble. All of the leftovers from yesterday's feast are then slapped haphazardly into a frying pan and cooked thoroughly. I guess, have you heard of a mess? It's where you just take like hamburger meat, onion, just like a shit ton of food, and you put it in a pot and you boil it. So this is sort of like a mess. This reheating process also creates a delicious crust on the outside of said jumbled mashup mess. In a separate pan, you reheat the leftover gravy, even though leftover gravy is a myth. None of that heavenly liquid ever survives the main meal. Anyway, this is a fantasy, so let's use creative license to assume a delightful splash of hot gravy ends up coating the crispy fried vegetable jumble. This is a fry-up in some parts of the country, a bumble and squeak in others. And we're almost done. Right here's the final one. Whatever it is, a few forkfuls will whatever it is, there we go. Whatever it is, a few forkfuls will transport you to heaven and make any bad feeling you're harboring disappear.
So you'll die if you eat this.
If you die. God damn. Alright, what's your 12?
Again, this one doesn't need explaining. Biscuits and gravy.
My wife loves biscuits and gravy. Oh, so good. I'm not going to go into the details with these. You guys can look them up if you want. Oxtail soup.
Fine.
Yep.
11 for me is cheeseburger meatloaf.
Whew! Sticky toffee pudding.
Or, as I like to call it,
yeah.
Barbecue meatloaf. Barbecue meatloaf is so good. If you haven't tried it, fucking try it. If you're not old enough to cook it, have your mother cook it.
Yes, you're damn right. Because if you're like me, your dad's not there. Sticky toffee pudding. I've heard of sticky toffee pudding.
I believe I have too. My 10 is roasted tomato soup.
Ooh. And the tasting table crashed on me, so let's go to what? Let's go to data.
I had to refresh mine too. At one point because I was doing some glitchy shit.
Yeah. So as we know, fucking... You guys are crazy. You guys are fucking nuts. I guarantee you we have no British subscribers. Or watchers.
I'll be surprised if we have like one UK watcher.
Yeah. And it's the UK person that hates their cuisine. And they're like, yeah, these guys know what they're talking about. Oh, here we go. I'm going to go into this one because I've heard this. I guarantee you have too.
Is this your 9?
Yep, 9, yep. Because I did sticky toffee pudding, 10. Number 9 is haggis.
Haggis.
Haggis. Have you heard of haggis? Have you heard the word haggis?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go.
It reminds me of the Harry Potter word.
Right? Here we go. Scotland's contribution to British comfort foods. So
it's
Scottish.
Scotland's idea.
Yeah. Comes in the form of its national dish. If you can get past the fact it's made from a variety of sheep innards. Delicious. Haggis is very enjoyable It's a deeply savory dish which is traditionally served alongside mashed potatoes and turnips, or neeps and taties. Let me say that again. Right there, right there, right there. That right there. Or napes and taties.
Whatever the fuck those are.
In the logical lingo, surprisingly, it also pairs well with a good single malt. Only good thing from it. Haggis forms a key part of the traditional Scottish breakfast, but it is at its best as an evening meal. It is the centerpiece of Burns' night celebration, where it's ceremonially cut as a man in a kilt recites Scottish poems. The Food and Drug Administration is still a bit squeamish about offal and has decided you should be too. So a trip across the Atlantic is currently the only way to enjoy this great dish. So basically, the Food and Drug Administration tells you don't eat this shit. But if you want to eat it.
My number 9 is Texas Roadhouse beef chili.
Ooh! If you want to go into that, you can. That sounds delicious.
So this fantastic beef chili recipe is one of the best comfort food recipes to serve on a chilly night. It starts with ground beef and a flavorful tomato sauce made of canned whole tomatoes, beef broth, tomato paste, and aromatics. And add beans, cook for a few minutes, and you have yourself a delicious chili. If you prefer to use dried beans, you can simply make it in a slow cooker.
See, ours is very simple.
I don't have to go into the next one either.
I'm going to let you surprise me with that one. Because I have toad in a hole.
Didn't we talk about that one already?
We did talk about that one. Let me see if there's anything. Alright. Nope, not really. Not really different.
You want my number 8 then?
Yes, sir.
Good old classic. Mashed potatoes.
See, why do we have... Why? Why is ours so simple yet?
The next one's simple too for ours. Do you want me to just say mine first?
Yeah.
Number 7 is French fries.
Mine could not be more the opposite. Mince and dumplings. See if this is short. Alright.
I mean, you can just go to the... You don't have to go to the whole...
Right,
one
okay,
is a
so...
comfort, you can just
Right,
go to
so I'll
like
just go
what's
straight.
in it.
Okay. The real star in this dish is the dumplings, which are filling soft and soaked up bits of the gravy beautifully. British dumplings tend to be made from a combination of soup and flour. The thick dumpling mix is dolloped in a pan of cooked mince, and the result is then baked, which leads to a hearty, crusty outside and a soft, chewy middle. See, that sounds... I don't know what dish it is, but we put biscuits in something and we bake it. It's like a vegetable something. It's like a stew or something. You put biscuits in it and you bake it. It's sort of like that.
Number 6 for the U.S. is cheese grits.
My 6 is the Cornish pastry.
Probably a shit ton of pastry.
Right. As far as different styles of pastry go, the most standout type is the Cornish variety. You can spot a Cornish pastry because of its thick crust. Legend has it, they were baked this way so they could serve as lunch for the local mining community. Legend has it. The pastry handle would be thrown... oh god, what did I just miss? The large crimped pastry piece could be used to hold the pastry, and doing so would avoid contaminating the rest of it with your coal dust and other asserted filth-covered fingers. The pastry handle would then be thrown away at the end. These days, Cornish pastries can be a higher-end variety of the dish, and that extra wedge of pastry is something eaten. Alright, what's your 5?
Fried chicken.
Welsh rarebit.
Rush rarebit.
Welsh.
Oh.
Welsh rarebit. Welsh rarebit, done correctly, involves a thick slice of toasted bread at the base. On top of that, you'll need to add a thick cheese sauce. The sauce is where creativity comes in. If you want to keep things basic, just melt a generous amount of shredded cheddar into a bechamel, and pour that on top. You can make things more complex and delicious by adding things like Worcestershire sauce, beer, mustard to the top. Once the sauce is slathered on top, slap the non-covered toast under the broiler to crisp it up. Pull it out. Once dark spots start appear on the volcanic cheesecake, enjoy.
My number 4 is spaghetti and meatballs.
I got steak and kidney pie. 3.
Chicken pesto pizza.
Spotted dick. We talked about that.
Yep, sure did.
Sure did.
Number 2, easily one of my favorites. The good old grilled cheese sandwich.
Oof. I got a Lancashire hot pot. It looks like Ratatouille because it goes like in that circle,
Oh yeah.
but it's like it looks like
Looks like potato skins.
that's what I was about to say. But it's a lamb casserole, which is lamb, onions, and deliciousness. The original recipe contained a heavy amount of oysters, which were very cheap at the time. Other traditions include things like kidneys, which were cheap protein. Almost every version you'll encounter today has stewed lamb, vegetables, and the all-important layer of potato slices. You were right. Yeah, so it's like potato ratatouille.
I don't know how this beat grilled cheese at number 1. In my opinion, grilled cheese is so much better, but my number 1 is buffalo mac and cheese.
Mine is shepherd's pie, which I like shepherd's pie.
I know what shepherd's pie is.
Yeah. So, I mean, this list was better.
It was a lot better.
It was a lot. So your comfort food is better than your famous foods.
Yeah, your main dishes, basically.
Yeah, your main dishes fucking suck. Again, come at please. I want all of the. I want there to be a news story in like the UK where it's like most hated podcasts. They'd have like all their podcasts they hate, and then number 1 is just the only American on the podcast, and it's the Red Narrow podcast. And they talk about our queen. They talk about our food. At least we don't. No, not going there. Never mind. But with that being said, folks, I hope you went to the website, followed along, and if there was actually something that you liked, because there's a dude that we work with that said that he likes blood pudding. I'll tell you who it is afterwards, but he because I guess he saw the episode, and he asked if I liked blood pudding, and I was like, no. And he goes, Red, that's so good. And he said once it gets hardened, it's delicious. I'm like, why would I eat a blood clot? And he was like, no, it's really good. But of course, you guys have terrible trashy food. But with that being said, I'm Red.
And I'm Arrow.
With that being said, we'll see you tomorrow for your 5 anime duos. And then Sunday for the rundown of the camp visit, where Arrow fucking sucked. He sucked. He sucked ass. I proved I'm the dominant one. This is my podcast. It's my podcast.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is my podcast. I proved I'm number 1. I'm number 1. Number 2, I'm number 1. And number 3, I'm number 1. Folks, there's something you need to know. With Red and Arrow, in everyday life, if we go to the store, I'm buying the best things. My appetite's better. If we go to the park, I'm swinging higher on the swing. I'm sliding longer down the slide. If we're at basketball, I'm shooting more threes, draining buckets with the rock. If we're doing track, I'm running faster. If we're playing video
Not
games,
with that fucking gut, you aren't.
if we're playing video games, I'm best at Jump Force. I'm the better picker of the Jump Force teams.
You're the better fighter on the fighting games, is what you're trying to say. Which you are, because I don't play fighting games.
But with that being said, we will see you tomorrow,
Give me in
Saturday,
some Call of Duty and you'll be fucked.
for some anime duos. Bye bye.